I always go live on Instagram, and I didn't this time.
Hold on. I can't do it that way.
What you trying to do?
Laugh, Sharon.
Hey.
All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Z.
That's beautiful. See, you can hear me whisper. This is ASMR. I do this stuff. Yeah. You know, they do things like.
Oh my gosh.
Have you heard?
Cool.
Have you watched any of the ASMR videos on TikTok? It freaks me out, and it's kind of nice.
But not
too.
on TikTok though.
Oh, I kind of like it. Not for a long time.
No, ASMR is cool.
Yeah, it's
Some of it,
interesting.
yeah.
Yeah, some of it. But one time I clicked on this one, and she had like 10,000 people watching as a live, and I was like, "What the hell? What's that? That many people are interested in, the sounds or something." Maybe it's because she was like, I don't know, she was like super pretty.
Yeah.
Hi. Welcome.
Ooh, that was nice, Chuck.
He does have a good radio voice.
Yeah, for sure.
7 p.m., sir.
Okay, so I'm watching. Okay.
Coming to you from the Poorly Painted Studios in Cumming, Georgia, this is the Chuck and Z Show. And now, here's Chuck and Z.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Chuck and Z Show.
Hello.
Hello.
Of course, I'm Chuck.
I'm Z.
And I'm Sharon, producer Sharon.
Yes.
Yes, welcome to the Chuck and Z Show. Sharon.
Yay, thank you.
We're so excited to have you on board.
Oh, thank you. I'm honored to be part of it. It's exciting for me. Thank you very, very much.
Yeah.
Hey.
No, it was like a natural thought. Like we were sitting there talking about, gosh, we really need someone to help us produce and be a part of the show. And I was always talking to you about it. I mean, you do how many shows? I don't know.
Right.
So many shows. And you're like, oh my God, I would love to do it. And I was like,
Well, very similar themes in the way that you book people and edit and put together a good show. So, and I do similar things on my end, so it feels very natural.
Yeah.
So, hooray.
Yay. We're so
Thank
happy
you.
to have you.
Thank you, guys.
late on a Friday. Well, it's not too late.
No.
I know I'm tired.
I know this is be like so much fun. I'm going to keep you guys awake with all my compelling stories.
I had a trip to Dallas this week. Got to go see some good friends of mine. I was there for work. Part of my job is going into new markets and establishing new markets. And so I get to go to Dallas a lot right now. And I'm really, really excited about that. Some good friends live there. Shout out to Jake and Lo Swan. Had some great food over. I had the Parmesan chicken. I don't think I told you that.
Oh.
I had the Parmesan chicken. It was super crusty.
That's different for you.
And it was at Tommy Bahama.
Oh.
And then they had this frozen old fashioned that was super dangerous
Was it?
because it was so easy to drink.
Yeah.
Like I was just literally just knocked it back.
I always think when you're talking about Dallas or anything in Texas that you're just going to have like a big steak. In my mind,
Yeah.
I'm like, aren't you getting like
A big ribeye or
Yeah, it's a
something?
big ribeye, and I don't know.
A giant
Yeah.
piece of brisket.
Some good old Texas brisket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is different. Like the barbecue there is super delicious.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
We got good barbecue. I got some good BBQ there.
Yeah.
So, all right, end of the week. No
Yep.
more traveling for the next couple days. Got to end it with like a chit chat. That's so nice.
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know.
We actually do have something fun to do tomorrow night. I can't wait. We've got this 80s theme party we're going to.
Yeah.
I mean, I went full tracksuit.
What
I mean,
are you going to do? Like the sweatband or whatever?
no,
What are you
straight
doing?
up run DMC.
Oh,
got,
like the Kangol hat.
I got a Kango hat.
I want to see pictures.
Is it furry? Is it a furry Kangol?
It's like a felt one.
Yeah.
It's like a felt Kango hat.
Oh
We'll
my
definitely take
gosh!
pictures.
Oh, absolutely.
I even went and got the. I looked up the shoes they wore and got a version of them. Too.
Did you really?
Yeah.
I went all out.
Are you gonna rap?
The Adidas.
Well, I've been known to lay down a rhyme or two every now and then.
Didn't you get like the gold chains?
Gold
too?
chain.
Oh my gosh!
I got the big gold glasses, the square ones.
Oh, you guys! I
Yeah,
saw
I can't
Z's
wait.
outfit. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, the neon. I just need to have like the lipstick that I'm going to wear, but I need to like get like the eyes right.
Yeah. I was alive and in school and high school in the 80s. And so I imagine like what I used to wear in terms of like eyeshadow. It was a lot of like light blues and completely different now, obviously. But I thought I looked amazing. So you will too tomorrow night.
Oh,
I can just bet. You both are going to be so cute.
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
I think we like dressing up.
I think we do too.
That's all I need to know. Okay, you guys, that's enough.
Well,
How dare you? How dare you?
don't be putting our
Sharon.
business out there like that. We don't have nicknames.
Oh, okay.
It's actually funny. I feel like I have a little bit of deja vu right now because one of my favorite podcasts I've ever done was with you, and it's lost to the world because we had an audio issue that I couldn't correct.
How's it lost?
I can't
Just can't get it back.
I can't get the audio. I keep trying, and no matter what I do, if I amplify it too much, he gets all tinny, and it just is so distracting. I was so upset about it.
What number was that?
That was like
Number 2?
2.
Yeah.
Oh, well, now we're number 9.
Number 9.
Look at you guys. All right. Well, maybe it was meant to be because I wasn't producer then.
That's right.
So now I'm like a couple of hats.
Yeah.
And I'm learning as we go.
Well, no, come on, Sharon. As a matter of fact, before we start just getting rambly, because we're going to, I'm about to get some whiskey in a second.
Oh.
Yeah, that's going to happen. I would say, tell everybody about yourself. Tell them about your background, what you do.
All right.
I mean, you hear the voice, right, y'all?
I did the intro for their podcast.
That's right.
From my closet at the time. Now I have a booth. I've like moved up in the world, but at the time it was in the closet, and I was just like so happy to get this done for you. I really enjoy like even just hearing I chuckle for some reason. I just think it's so funny to hear my voice and like the music, and it makes it sound so nice. And I think that's one of the best things about voiceover. And a lot of people ask me how important is being a voiceover artist, which is what I do on the side. And I say it's amazing when you hire the right voice for your project. It just elevates the energy of it. And it's something you can't really, experience until you've really heard it yourself. Your own things that you've written or your own video that you've made, and you've got like a really nice sounding voice that matches the vision of what you want. Yeah. It's amazing how nice that can make something feel. It's professional. Yeah. And so when I hear myself, I'm just like, I was in my closet, in my bathrobe, I think. I mean, that's like so dramatic,
right,
and
stop
everything.
hating that visual.
With your glass of Prosecco.
Yeah.
Stop painting that visual. You're going to ruin the intro.
Oh, what?
I'm going to see her in a bathrobe every now. No, I'm just
Don't
kidding.
do that. I feel bad for you.
Stop.
But actually, it's very fun to have lots of different hats that I get to wear. And one of them is obviously voiceover, which is great. I just finished a book recently. It's the 17th book I think I've done. Wow. And it's just a lot of energy and time. So now that that's finished, and I love each project I get to work on, but I'm always happy to kind of put it to bed and have more time to work on the other things that I love. So I also am a Business Radio X host of a show called Fearless Formula, and I interview small business owners and talk about the ups and downs of the business world and give tips for business success for anyone who's listening. That is a project I do once a week, and I just love it. It's just joy, similar to this. You just get to know people, and one of my favorite things is to chit chat and understand where someone comes from and what their story is. So it's just, that's a joy. What else do I do?
Yeah,
I ride motorcycles.
You ride
motorcycles? So obviously, what do you ride?
I ride a Fat Boy, a 2005 Fat Boy, and I also have a 96 Sportster. But the Fat Boy is what I mainly ride. So any of your little videos, if you ever see like a little blue Fat Boy in there, that would probably be me. So I don't think anyone else rides or maybe there might be one more person that rides a Fat Boy, but in our group.
But like you've been donned the utility bike.
Yeah.
Of our group, because she has like everything you need for.
Well, I have like a backup battery to jump things, and then I have like a whole kit, like a toolkit that is made for bikes. Yeah,
on multiple occasions.
And I have gas cans with me just in case. I'm kind of high maintenance, but it makes me feel comfortable, and you all don't mind, right? It comes in handy.
No,
it's amazing. I remember the one time we had that photo shoot downtown Atlanta.
Oh my gosh!
And whose bike didn't start?
Mine.
It was your bike?
It was. So what happened was we were moving our bikes pretty regularly.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And I kept starting the bike up, and then I'd move it over a little bit and then shut it off. And I didn't realize how much I was draining the battery. And it just, at one point, we were getting ready to leave to go to the bridge and get this great shot, and my bike just wouldn't start. And I was like, no. And I don't think I had, or no, we tried to jump it and it wouldn't jump. And we were right next to the C&M building, right in downtown. And so I was like, now what? And thankfully, one of our leaders and her husband, Jess and Scott helped, went to get a new battery with me and helped me change it. And it was just, it was like, oh, I'm so grateful for good friends. I was upset.
I guess I didn't realize that was you that was broken down.
Yeah, it was me. I have pictures of it and everything.
But there have been other occasions where we've had to use your battery tender or like the
yeah, all the tools and things. It's just nice to have. And I use them when I need to do something on my bike, take my seat off or whatever. These are made for all of the standard sizes that these bikes have. So it's pretty handy.
Yeah. Awesome.
I've ridden your bike.
You have ridden my bike.
A couple times. I like it. Nice. She's nice.
Thank you.
I a lot of respect. Like the Fat Boys, for me, I mean, it feels a bit like a tank.
It does. Like it's a big bike.
It's difficult to corner a little bit.
Well, and I lowered it, right? I had the shocks lowered at the time when I got it because I'm a pretty short person. So I needed to feel more stable. I don't know if because I have a little more experience under my belt, if I would be as willing, because I do see that I'm limited with my turning, and I do scrape sometimes. It makes me so mad because I feel like I know how far to go, but I don't. So I like test it all the time. But I do like that I have a seat that pushes me forward a little bit, and I have the handlebars kind of closer to me because I've customized it as people do, like as you all are doing for your bikes, to make me feel comfortable.
Yeah. I think that's what hopefully people that are getting into riding and things like that understand that they need to make it their own.
Exactly. And then I don't want to get rid of it. It's so perfect to me that it would be kind of sad to start over, I think. So I plan to keep it. It's my first bike. So
she's beautiful. She's a pretty bike.
Thank you.
Is it a she?
It's a she. Her name's Pearl.
Okay, yeah.
And then Lolita's the other bike, so she's kind of badass bike, but
Yeah, and tell us about Lolita and how that came about.
So I'm a member of Lolita's with you all. I've been a member, I think, for 3 or 4 years now. I'm not sure. 4 years? Wow, dang. Oh yeah, okay.
19.
Oh girl, that's great. I had entered, I bought something off of the Lolita's website when they were having the sweepstakes giveaway for their bike. And I didn't do it to buy the bike or get the bike. You just ordered something. I just ordered something. Yeah, I think I got socks or something.
People are going to be so mad.
I'm so sorry. It does make you wonder why when you're not, kind of making it such an effort. I'm like, wait. So I guess they picked my name with some third party vendor place that they were like, yeah, you won. I was like, no. As a matter of fact, my daughter was sitting next to me when they called, and I was like, watch this. They're going to need my social security number, my bank account. And I just had it all like it was a big scam. And then sure enough, I still can't believe I won this bike. It is so much. It's a beautiful bike. Yeah. I just have to kind of because it's a 96. There are a lot of things that tend to break on it. So right now it needs a new head gasket. So I'm looking at it in my garage at the moment. I'm like, you're beautiful. Heading on the Fat Boy. Because everything's kind of expensive to fix over and over. So I'm trying to just take my time with her. But I want to keep her forever. I think you had said as well that they don't make Sportsters anymore. Is that correct?
Yeah, they stopped that particular model of the Sportster. They have the Nightster and
Sportster S.
And a Sportster S, which is more sporty looking. It's more like, I would compare those more, I don't know, to like a V. I wouldn't say V-Rod, but
they're not the same as the old school Sportsters for sure.
They don't have that same body style.
Right. So interesting. So it's even more special. Well, I had it adjusted for me as well because it had 14-inch shocks at the time, and I was tiptoeing. So I had like shorter shocks put on. I had a Bung King put on so that I wouldn't hurt myself. The pipes are amazing because they were custom made by Salt City Builds, and they're beautiful. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful bike. Like I look at it and think you are the one that does not go home to mom.
That paint
You're
job.
the one you go out. Yeah.
Yeah, that paint job that she did was really
nice. She did. It's lovely. So when I get, myself together a little bit more and invest more time in fixing her it's wonderful to take her to a bike night. Anytime we've been able to have her out, I've always felt really proud because it says the Litas, you know, on like gold paint on the side. And I feel, I don't know, special. I feel so special.
I know.
Well, out of curiosity, as a voiceover artist, has there been a specific project that kind of stands out as I really enjoyed this project?
My favorite voiceover project was the Harley commercial I did. That was my favorite one, for sure, because when I initially auditioned for it, the copy that they gave me, I pictured writing in my head. I could picture the scene, like I had my eyes closed. And I don't know if that's what did it, but they were like, yeah, we'd like you to do this one. And I was so floored. And at the time I auditioned, it was right before I got COVID. So when I got hired to do it was like the tail end of COVID. And I was so stuffy, and like the director was like, I need to do a Zoom call with you. And I'm like, great. And I just got the most medicine I could, like I doped myself up really hard so that I would sound like a normal human, and was stressed because I wanted him to be like, oh, you sound great, not you sound sick. Yeah. So somehow it just worked, and he was happy. The director was happy. And I still can't believe that I got that job. It's crazy.
Such a cool commercial.
Thank you.
You make us feel it's for Pan America.
Yes, for the Pan America bike.
The Harley Pan America, and I feel like I'm in the moment.
Oh,
in that video,
too.
And like
it's a great video
on the bike.
You did a great job.
Thank you, guys. That's so sweet. Thank you. Yeah, that was probably my favorite one. So
now another question I have for you is that we all know that Sharon gets embarrassed easily.
No, I don't.
Oh, yes, you do. Yes, you do.
He said
we all know.
or it's you like. It's funny. Sometimes I think you kind of like it, but you play it off like, "Oh, I'm so innocent."
What do I say? That's what she said all the time. What is it?
So I'll realize that you're trying to be a little whatever. I'll say a comment and you'll go, "Ooh," and I'm like, and then I have to lean into it because I like seeing your face turn red. It's one of my favorite things to do. But knowing that about you, I imagine you've had projects come across your desk that you go, "How am I going to read this?" Is that true?
What kind of projects are you talking about?
Well, I mean, like for instance, when you're reading a book, sometimes you have to describe activities. You have to talk about sex, and I just knowing you the way I know you, I just can imagine that like it maybe takes a few takes.
So for some reason, I get hired to do a lot of racy books. Okay, it just is what it is.
It doesn't have anything to do with the tone quality of your voice, right?
I don't know. I try not to analyze. I get all like insecure. I don't really know exactly, but it seems to work out where I get a lot of these books that have chapters that are just like, I don't read the entire book often. I read ahead, but I don't read the whole book ahead of time. And sometimes it's not really described as being as graphic as it is, but I've committed. There's a contract. I'm doing this book. So I
got to do what you got to do.
Do you have a process for kind of getting yourself in that headspace?
No. I'm trying to think.
I'm like, process
well, she's an artist. I'm asking her about the process.
Okay. All right. So
yes, and making her uncomfortable at the same time. But
I'm like sweating. All right. So
you knew I was going to do this.
No, I didn't. I'm talking bikes, man. All right. So I do a little bit in that. The whole goal when I'm doing a book, when I'm reading a book, is to every sentence that I'm reading, I'm trying to match what the author's energy is behind the sentence. And especially if it's dialogue. So if it's a woman who's annoyed, I'm matching the energy of the annoyance. It's not so much even the exact words, it's the energy behind the words that I'm into. And I don't retain everything that I read, which is kind of interesting. Someone asked me that, and I was like, I really don't. I'm thinking so hard in a different way about acting and making sure that what I'm saying is the intent behind what the author had, because it's a reflection of them, and I want to honor their work, and I want them to be happy. That's who I please in this way. So in the moments where it's kind of more of a graphic scene,
you don't have to stick to that.
I will say this, that I kind of not disassociate. What do? I just push through it. I'm just like, just say it. Just say it. Just say it. And then, and then sometimes, I do chuckle and have to go back and be like, oh man, that's not, no. Cause then I think, would a man really say, men probably say, like I have a whole thing. Men say this, I guess they say this, So yeah, sometimes it takes me a minute, but I try not to think too hard about it. Cause I'm like, I have kids and grandkids and I'm like, no, my parents, like no one can listen to this.
Right.
You guys.
Well, they won't know.
Oh, I'm going to go listen. What's the name of the book?
No.
She's like, no.
There is no name.
Well, it's interesting, like the whole voiceover, I guess, sector or industry, because we were listening to Stephen King book. I'm like, who's this guy?
Stephen King didn't do the voice of the book?
No, he didn't. He has an actor that does it. And like this guy does every single character's voice. And you actually like, he's really good. So he's doing like a guy, a girl, an African-American woman, who
has like 3 personalities.
Yeah.
Oh my.
What is the book, babe?
Oh, it's the
Tower?
The Dark Tower series.
Tower. Oh. That's his recent one, isn't it?
Nah, that's kind of like his opus. I think there's like what, 12
of the Dark Tower.
I think so. I've read them all. I can't remember how many there are right now, but it's a long series that follows this.
Okay, I'm thinking of another book.
This main character called Roland. He's a gunslinger, but as you read through the book, you realize that it's kind of like parallel. It's almost like a multiverse story before we even had multiverse within the current.
Wow.
How they're doing it with Marvel and a few other places. It's kind of a multiverse type of story.
Yeah.
But the guy that did it is incredible.
I mean, he does these voices like of, I don't know, like different characters, obviously. And you actually feel like it's a different person.
Yeah.
Right. I think that's a challenge too for doing a book, in that oftentimes there'll be several women characters, and how different can you make their voices sound so that they're distinguishable as you're driving, and you don't have to wonder. They don't always say Z said blah blah blah, Chuck said whatever.
Right.
So I do have different pitches that I use, some different kind of inflections and cadences that will distinguish them. And sometimes as I'm reading, I'll be like, oh no, there's another female character. I got to come up with something, just to try to make sure that everybody has their sound and their energy. And I can't imagine having one character that has 3 different personalities.
Oh yeah.
And I can't imagine.
And all of them have very, very different, distinct voices in the way that they speak. One's kind of like a sweet but hesitant girl. Another one is just, I don't know how to describe
brash,
it. I mean,
just crass.
But it's a man who's doing these female voices, right?
Yeah.
So interesting.
And it's weird because every time I get into it, right? But I also think a lot about the process of doing this stuff. And I just can't picture, because he's like an older white guy.
Yeah.
Like, I just can't picture him doing this voice.
Right.
Yeah, it's so crazy, but it's very good. And I'm always curious about how do you do you have to find that character?
Yeah.
Because like even when you just said you don't read,
I don't read the entire book. Right.
Do you read a paragraph at a time so you'll kind of know what's going to go on?
I'll read like a chapter. I'll kind of see, okay, this is the energy of this chapter. This is the fight scene. I'll know what's coming. But yeah, I think I admire people who can be. I mean, it is acting, right? So who can be so committed to these different voices? Yeah. Because that's that's all you've got. Chuck, you could do a book. Z, you have a very nice voice too, but like Chuck in particular, you have such a nice sound.
Oh, thank you.
You could totally rock something like that with your extra time.
Chapter 1.
Yeah.
The Dark Tower by Stephen King.
You could have a booth. You could add it in here somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. I sound too country though.
What?
No, you don't.
Let me see. Speak.
Don't I sound country when I talk? Do I not sound country?
I don't
you
really...
can, and you can turn it on and off.
Yeah.
Social Malia. That's my Obama.
So Sharon, have you had to do like any accents?
Yes, I have. And I really
accents?
struggled once with one. It was a Jamaican accent. And I listened to YouTube videos over and over and over of a person speaking with this. And it wasn't perfect, but the author was happy with it. And that's all that matters to me. The goal was to make sure she sounded somewhat Jamaican and distinguishable enough that is her character. So I don't know what it is. I was self-conscious about it. But again, it's like, it's such a creative, fun project for me to pretend to be different people that I'm really very, very happy to be like, what do you want me to do? All right, I'll learn something new and, be brave.
That's cool. Jamaican. That's the hardest. That's a really hard accent to do.
It is. And I've done like Southern accents and I can do a New England accent. So I've got some like accents in there in the wheelhouse of my, I guess, skills, but I've never been hired to do one that's different than my just normal accent. So yeah.
That's cool.
They had one, I auditioned for one. It was a political ad at the time, and it was for some, I don't remember who it was, a congressman somewhere, I can't remember now, in Rhode Island. And I used to live in Rhode Island. So I was like, oh, yes. So I just got like in my head, and they wanted it to be catered to that, that state. So I was like, oh, I'm one of you guys. But I didn't get the job, but I still had so much fun being like, all right. Because it doesn't even sound like me, really. I don't think. And when I do books, people say I don't sound the same as when I have regular conversations, which is kind of fun too. So like the Harley one, I had to use a lower pitch because they asked for it to be kind of low and slow. And so it was like, give me the long, straight, it's like that low.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like where I normally speak. That's not my spot.
Do you still remember the ad?
Give me the long, straight road
before me. Yeah.
Can you do it?
Yeah, let me think. Give me the long, straight road before me. Oh no. A cold, clear day with a nipping air. Tall, bare trees to run on beside me. A heart that is light and free from care. Then let me go. I care not whither. My feet may lead, but my spirit will be free as the brook that flows to the river. Is that right? Free as the river that flows to the sea. That's the way I said it, I think.
Yay!
It's been a minute.
I love it.
I'm going to go buy a Pen America.
Ah, it worked. That's what matters. It worked. We were inspired. I actually went to go see them at the Killer Creek Harley.
Oh, yeah.
Dealership. Yeah, I went to go see it because I'm like, well, I'm talking about this bike and I actually have never seen it in person. And sat on one, they're very tall and fast. So yeah, I was like, well, this would be the bike to go run around America on.
Well, we both rode them.
How was it?
It's very tall.
It is tall.
I was on my tippies. I was like,
oh no, thank you. I'm good.
It rides very, very, it's smooth. It's fast.
It sounds different, doesn't it?
It does. It sounds like a sewing machine. But that's just because it doesn't have if you put a different exhaust on it, it would sound
right.
It would sound good. But
I think it's fascinating how different bikes can sound because the Sportster that I have is carbureted and it has a completely different sort of loping sound. Mm-hmm. It almost sounds like when I'm at a light that it's gonna stall because it's so slow and like rumbly and it shakes the entire time where I'm like, hey, okay, the light's gonna change in a second. Like it feels like it's like, let me go the whole time.
I know.
Spilling whiskey.
Oh,
did you?
You okay? You hanging out? You over there?
It happens.
So yeah, but like the Fat Boy sounds so different. So I haven't actually heard the Pan America in person.
What does it sound like when you started up, just like the stock exhaust and all that? Like a sewing machine, right?
Yeah, like a sewing machine. I mean, it's not quite a sport bike sound and it's not quite a Harley sound.
Right.
It reminds me a lot. I say it every time. It reminds me a lot of the V-Rod. It's the Revolution Max engine, which I think is somewhat based on the Revolution engine. So it's got a very similar sound. And when I rode it, it felt a lot like the shifting pattern that you would have on a V-Rod.
Yeah. They have the same engine in the Nightster and the Sportster S.
Oh, interesting.
So if you test ride any of those, it was so funny. We test rode them, I guess in January, like January, February, when we went to go get the new STs. Mm-hmm. And I rode a Sportster for 4 years,
yes,
right?
I remember your Sportster. You hopped on mine really fast, and then you were like, I think it needs some work. I didn't know it was supposed to. Do you remember that? You were like, these brakes. I'm like, okay, I'm not crazy. It's so nice.
This isn't good. Let's get this fixed.
I was like, they don't all feel like this? You're like, no.
No.
It shouldn't feel like this. Like I can't stop.
Let's go to the mechanic.
No rear, no front brakes.
Let's go right now.
You were like, oh, thanks.
I thought I was, struggling, but it's just me. You were like, no. But, I loved your Sportster. It's a beautiful bike.
Yeah, I loved it too.
Yeah, it was special.
But, and I rode it naked for 4 years, right? No fairing,
The bike,
no windshield.
Sharon.
Oh, God. I was like, well,
The bike.
damn, where was I?
The
Do you have
bike,
video of
Sharon.
this?
Settle down. Settle down.
I swear this is my first drink and Sharon hasn't had anything yet.
This is just my naturalness, I guess. It's kind of scary.
That's funny.
I love that. I love Black Mama. I rode her some. I'd get
Yeah.
on her every now and then. When Z started getting, this bike isn't enough for me, and she started hopping on the V-Rod, I was riding the iron a few times.
I know. And it looks so small.
It's tiny.
You know what I mean?
It looks tiny.
But
It's a fun ride.
I rode it and that was all I knew. And I didn't really have any kind of preconceived notions about anything else.
What
But
was
then,
it that made you feel like it wasn't enough? How did you know that you wanted to upgrade to something different?
I think I was trying to keep up with Chuck. Like I felt like I could keep up at that point. Like for the longest time, I didn't have the confidence as far as maneuvering and like going fast and things like that. So as my confidence built, because I didn't even test ride the V-Rod for like 3 years that you had it, right?
Wow.
I didn't get on it for 3 years. Like I didn't want to be the one dropping the V-Rod. But then also,
And it wasn't just a typical V-Rod either. I mean, we had that thing built up.
yeah, it was a V-Rod muscle. It was a destroyer. So it went 150 at the wheel, 150 horsepower.
156 at the wheel.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Just saying.
That 6 is important.
It is important. That's what she said.
Oh,
Hey.
nice.
No, actually, that's not what she said. No.
All right. Well, anyhow, I would say that with the Sportster I have, it's a 1200 and it will go really fast if I want. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't believe kind of how much power it has. It
Yeah.
doesn't seem like it. You're kind of like with the carbureted, you don't feel like it's really going to take off as fast. And it's nice because I think where the clutch is and sort of how it catches is very different from that friction zone area for the Fat Boy I have. So it's less precise. So I kind of feel more like, I'm just going to take my time. And then all of a sudden I'm going 60.
Yeah.
Thing is, it's got a really small gas tank. It's like 2.5
Yeah.
gallons, I think. And I have run out of gas twice on it. So that's why I have some extra gas cans with me all the time. But yeah, I mean, I'm shocked at how much power it actually has. So when you're talking about like comparing your bike and realizing that you wanted more power, were you wanting it to match Chuck's bike or?
I guess. Yeah, because actually I was looking into getting a V-Rod like at the time.
You guys could kind of be at the same speed
Yeah.
together. I got
Yeah.
you.
And it was just the difference in just the takeoff and being able to the Sportster only has 5 speeds. Having that 6th gear.
Yeah, I don't have that either. Sometimes I don't know. I think I'm still in 4th and I'll go to switch and I'm like, oh well, this is it.
Yeah, that happened when I went to the 6-speed or the 6, so
You get
it was
used
like
to
I
it.
was in 5th and I was like, oh, I have one more.
Nice.
But it was that, and then I just had more confidence in my riding skills and ability. But the V-Rod muscle, it has forward controls, and I'm short. My legs are short, so that's another reason why I was it's low to the ground, so I didn't really tiptoe on it that much. But it's just the way you rode it. It's more like a sport bike, like you're leaned over into.
How different does it feel to control a bike that way, though? I'm used to where mine
Super
are. So
different.
Super different.
Yeah.
That bike was an amazing bike. I couldn't, I say it all the time, I couldn't get to the end of it. It was completely built up. All the limiters and governors were removed, and she just wanted to keep going. Like you could not get to the end of her. But in a corner, it's atrocious.
Oh no! What?
The rake is so long.
Oh,
in
no
the
way!
front,
Oh, I didn't think
the
about
forks,
that.
like
What that's like to maneuver.
Yeah.
It's like a truck.
And the
Kinda.
rear tire is so fat, you know?
Yeah. In order to get any speed, like when we would go up to the mountains, in order for me to be able to ride the way that I want to ride, sometimes I'd have to break her loose in the back just to get around the corner.
Interesting.
Because stop shaking your head at me.
Oh no.
I just got in trouble.
Shame.
But
Oh, did you just get shamed?
I got in trouble.
Shame.
But,
Good for you, Z.
but she
Shame,
was,
Chuck.
but she's like, some of the apexes, like even in Wolfpen Gap, especially in Wolfpen Gap, she's as long as the turn almost. So you're not swinging that bike through unless you do something like that. But on a straightaway, oh my God.
Gone.
I mean, and I won't tell you the speed, but I got her to a point where the vision started going in, and she just felt like, oh, are you done? Because I want to keep going.
Wow. Were you not scared?
I was terrified.
Oh, good. Because I would have been, I think.
Yeah.
But that's another thing with that
But that's
bike.
what I liked about it.
It's so like the stance is so aggressive and like low to the ground that when you're going that fast, there's no
one
wobble.
with the road feeling.
Just solid as
Interesting.
hell.
There's no wobble. It's super solid.
Oh, wow.
Whereas with the lowriders, they were pretty souped up too.
Yeah.
You know, with the 131s and all that, with the 550 cam. And I'll tell you the speed. I probably got it up to 125. And
How did you feel? I've never gone that fast. I think
I
the
didn't-
fastest I think I've gone is maybe 90 on the highway, like coming back from Destin with you guys.
yeah.
I think that was like the fastest.
She's like, that's y'all's fault. And I wouldn't
was trying to keep
I wouldn't
up.
have
I was
done
gonna
90 if it wasn't for y'all.
But I was like, woohoo, look at me. I
Yeah.
can only do this for a minute, I think.
Yeah.
But I did want to keep up with you, but sometimes I like being challenged that way. You know, first time I went on the highway was the first Lita's meeting. I followed you all back.
yeah.
We had gone to the Fried Green Tomatoes restaurant. Whistle Stop Cafe. And you were like, you want to follow us home? We're going the same way. I was like, sure, as if I did this every day. And the next thing you know, we're on like the highway, and we're not just on the highway, we're going like this way, like way over. And I had never done that before. And I was like,
But you kept up. You held
You
your
did
own.
a great job.
thank you. I was
did.
like proud of myself, but at the same time, like, you know, a little traumatized slightly. But like when I came home and I thought about it, I was like, how, you know, I assessed myself. And that was like the first big ride I had done by myself, going downtown and everything.
I didn't realize that, like, I know now, but like at the time, I didn't realize that was your first time on the highway.
It was the first time going down through Atlanta by myself as
Wow.
well. So I was like, I was ready though. I wanted
Yeah.
to do it. I
mean,
wanted to.
You wouldn't have done it if you didn't want to.
Exactly. And I was really proud of myself to know that there are skills that I have that I don't really engage with unless I need to.
Yeah.
So being able to ride like fast like we did, I was proud of myself at the end, you know, that I kept up with you. But you guys, you know, you're so happy up there and you've got your great bikes. You guys look so comfortable and everything. And I'm like, I'm coming like a little kid. Hold on, Mom. You know?
Well, I had the Sportster at the time.
That's right.
I was on the V-Rod too.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
And we were sitting in traffic and I was like,
Yeah.
I'm on the highway in traffic. It's
Oh,
fine.
yeah. It's always
We're-
coming back into it.
285. We were trying to get onto
Always.
400 and there was construction. And I was like, I'm so brave. Listening to music in my head so I can like, you know, not stress. 'Cause-
Yeah. It's stressful. Atlanta
time.
traffic is crazy.
Yeah, but you know, I felt like I don't know, every time we go on a trip together, any of the things that we've done, I really feel proud of myself at the end, you know, that I did something most likely I've never done before. Yeah, and I like that I'm brave because I tell myself in my mind, I'm thinking as I'm writing, you guys see me, right? Like I'm not as cool. I mean, I'm cool, but like
You are freaking
yeah,
cool.
of
You're
course,
cool
right?
as hell.
I just know in my head, I'm thinking, all right, do they see me? If they don't see me, I'm going to go over here. You know, like in my mind, I'm strategic. So yeah.
You ride motorcycles.
I was kidding about the cool.
I was about to say, you're a voiceover artist. You have one of the coolest jobs ever. You're absolutely cool. And you're a great
Chuck.
person.
Oh, and I'm a producer for you.
And you're a producer for us
and
now.
that makes me extra cool because
So
I'm like,
excited.
check and see.
And now I don't have to sit here and be on live.
That's right. I can
answering messages and ignoring the conversation.
Exactly. You guys are going to be so free, hopefully.
Well,
Love it.
obviously, you know, I already told you we're going to have a mic for you as well. So
Okay.
anytime you want, I know that you do a lot of talking, so don't feel any pressure. But
Okay.
anytime you want to pop in and join, feel free.
Well, don't you think it's cool that you all were also part of a special Harley project, that we both kind of had a neat little...
Yeah,
And it was
Harley
around
tie?
the same time,
Yeah, it
too.
was.
too. It was.
Yeah, it was April or whatever, and mine I
Yeah.
think was, I don't know, May or something.
Yeah.
But it was kind of bizarre that it all worked out that way.
Yeah.
Like, it was like we got to work with Harley, and then it was, oh, you know, Sharon's doing it. I was like, everyone's working with Harley. This is awesome.
Harley fam, what up?
But you know, I've never ridden anything but a Harley, and I have a friend, Presley, who's got a Victory, and I did get on his bike the other day just to see what it feels like, and it's so different, and I'm so nervous to try a different kind of bike that
Don't be.
I am. I was like,
Don't
I'm
be.
good. I'm going to go inside. I think partly because, well, I feel the same in that I don't want to drop this bike. I don't want to hurt this bike. I don't want that. I'd feel terrible.
Okay,
But-
so don't think about it as in terms of the bike, but think about it in terms of your ability and skill.
Okay. I
Okay.
gotta be brave. I
gotta-
think I do have this, like I do have it, right?
You do.
I have the skills to do it, but I just,
Absolutely, you do.
Don't think about the bike.
I did. I totally thought about the bike.
What did that sound like just now? Don't think about it. Oh, the Matrix. It's not the
Don't-
spoon that's bending.
Rather, it's you.
It is me. It's
It
me
is,
in my head. Who's like,
Like seriously, because I mean, I used to be that way forever. How long have you been riding? 3-4 years?
No, 7. Let's see, 2016.
Yes, the same.
You know,
8,
but at
7.
the same time, if you're not comfortable, you're not comfortable. But
No, but
I believe you have the skill set. I mean, you're a great rider. I've never seen you do anything that I would consider to be not
I'm not going
Like
to do
dangerous?
anything that I don't want to do if I'm not comfortable with it. But at the
Right.
same time, you have to believe in your abilities to do it.
well, how different do you find? Okay, so let's talk about Triumphs and Victories, because those are the ones, and there's also obviously BMWs, and I know there are different kinds of bikes, but how different do they all feel? Are they all unique? I know each bike is unique,
Yeah.
right? The way it feels completely. Every
Each-
car is unique when you're driving it, but
Each Harley is
Yes.
unique.
each Harley has a personality.
Well, I
Right.
mean, like every
The way
model,
you ride them.
every model of Harley is different.
got you, right?
You know what I mean?
That's
so
true.
then the different brands must feel very different too,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I rode Ducatis for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, that's a sport bike. It's a completely different experience. I do not like BMWs.
Oh,
at
really?
all.
Why?
I don't like the engine. It just feels
Because
so,
it's so like long,
weird.
Like there.
Are
Like,
you talking about the R18? Because there are other BMW.
Right, the only BMW I've been on is the R18.
Okay.
So I don't. I've had the opportunity to ride other BMWs, but that particular one, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that whole airplane thing.
Oh, okay. I've never ridden one. They're beautiful to look at.
It's
and
got
they're
a weird
unique.
geometry. Like the engine kicks side to side or whatever. So it's like,
It does rattle. It does feel like you're rattling.
So the center of gravity is different.
yeah, it's different. Well,
Mm.
oh, yeah, something like that. But
Interesting.
Triumphs ride okay. Most all bikes ride okay. We're getting ready to ride or you're getting ready to ride a Moto Guzzi, I think.
yeah.
What is that? I've never heard of that.
It's a is it Italian? It's an Italian.
I think it's Italian.
An Italian bike?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's a I'll show you a picture.
I do want to see. What are you riding this for? Just for funsies?
Yeah.
Oh, good for you.
Yeah, we grab a different bike every now and then, you know.
See, that's what I should do, I think. Just give myself like a confidence boost, because initially when I got comfortable enough on the Fat Boy, I'm very comfortable. It's like, I know how this bike handles. I know what to do. And then when I won the Sportster, it took me, once I got it fixed a bit, fixed up to work like safely, it probably took me a week of like looking at it in my garage and feeling horrible that I hadn't taken it out. So I had to work myself up to being like, I can handle this bike. I have the basics. And now I just need to see how it feels, like where it catches and all of the different things that your brain, it's funny because my brain would adjust. I'd get used to the Sportster and then I'd get on the Fat Boy and I'm like, what the heck?
Right.
It's like a switch.
It is different every time.
Yeah.
And honestly, like
you.
if I'm going from when I was going from the Lowrider S to the Road Glide, I would have to like think, okay, what do I do?
Right, because they function differently.
They do function. They feel different. On the Lowrider S, it's more mechanical. Like you have to use your body a lot more.
Oh.
With the Road Glide, it kind of just leans with you. Like it knows what you're doing.
Because I think the Fat Boy feels like a Cadillac after I've been on the Sportster, because you feel every bump in the road.
Yes.
And there are like 5 things I have to do before I can even start the Sportster. You've got to turn the gas on and all of the things, like with the carburetor, and
do you have to use the thing let it out?
The thing
What
that
is
does
that?
the thing. I don't know what it's called. The thing.
The choke.
Yes.
Isn't that a
That
cool looking
thingy.
bike?
Very cool.
That thingy.
The thingy.
The thing that you move when you do the thing.
I don't have a carbureted
So smart.
engine motorcycle. If I did, I'd probably know what the thingy was.
Well, I do, and I forgot. I was like, when you put, so I have to count in my head. Okay, did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do that? Okay, yes, we're good. Because even turning the key, is different.
I know.
And the controls are right underneath, so it's actually once it gets going, on the corners, I can go so fast, and I surprise myself at how agile I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just like a different part of my energy gets to come out. This is a cool looking bike.
Yeah, that's a nice looking bike.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
I'm excited for you. You gonna
Yeah.
video this?
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
of
going to do some
course.
content. We're going to,
Everything's content, right?
I like all kinds of bikes though. I mean, it's always interesting to me how people get really Harley.
brand,
Only,
I can't
only.
think of a single BMW. Again, I haven't been on any of them other than that one. So
Yes.
it's hard for me to say that about BMW.
correct.
But I can't think of a single manufacturer that I can't appreciate their bikes.
Right.
Whether we're talking about the Scrambler, or we're talking about the Rocket from the Triumph, there are bikes within almost every manufacturer that I just want to ride.
Yeah.
I tell you, I'm lucky I can control my addictive personality
Yeah.
because I want so many bikes.
I know.
because they feel so different when you ride them, right? So
They
if you're in a
do.
mood, there's a bike for your mood.
Mhm.
Sorry to interrupt you. Go ahead.
No, I was going to
Yeah.
interrupt you, but no, I was saying when I first started riding and I started looking at all the different bikes, I really, really wanted a Ducati Monster, but I'm too short.
Oh no, they are
Like, I
very
would have
tall.
They are, but they look
She rides
small,
a Road
right?
Glide. And she's too short for
I
a
guess I
Ducati
could ride it now.
Monster.
But at the time, you remember, my mentality was, I'm not.
But they're like the center of gravity is so tall on that one. I think it's just so high.
It is
It
high,
feels
isn't it?
really high. Yeah.
It's high.
It is.
It's like the Pan America.
Mhm.
I test rode that one, but I don't think I could have that bike on a regular basis just because of tiptoeing here and there.
I like the feeling of having my feet on the ground.
Even with the lowering, because that bike automatically lowered. a
Oh,
little
I
bit.
saw that.
It still didn't get her to a point where she could put her feet down. And even, if I hold my breath, I'm 6 foot, right? I'm so close to 6 foot tall. It's like five.
You hold your breath.
It's like 5'11", and right there,
Yeah.
right?
That's funny.
Which means I don't get to say I'm 6 foot.
You don't.
But whenever I hold my breath, wear some tall ass shoes, Tom Cruise this shit. Anyways, but even I on that bike was kind of, I wasn't flat. I wasn't on my tiptoes or my balls, but I could tell that I was coming up a little bit, even with the lowering.
Can they lower it further, or is
They
that
could, yeah.
they could? Okay.
Eventually they'll do all that. Eventually those bikes will be just as well. I don't know. The V-Rides only had so many mods you could do to them because of how the engine and all, because it was a
because
standard
of the
and metric
engine, how
bike,
it was.
there was only so many things you could do to the V-Ride. So I don't know. I know the S&S has said they've been playing with that engine. So
Well, how many different brands of bikes do we have in our Litas group? We were just together for International Female Riders Day.
gosh, y'all have a lot.
I know. I'm trying to think. I mean, I think I did see a Fat Boy for the first time, another Fat Boy that had the typical rims that have the little holes on the sides. Mine are spokes. But
The disc rims.
The
yes,
disc.
that's what I meant to
Yeah,
say.
that's how.
The thing with the
thingy?
holes.
Yeah.
I love how articulate I am. But yeah, so we've got, I know we have obviously Harleys, but what other brands do we have? I know
We
we
have
have BMW.
Yamaha. We have BMW. We have Honda. We have Victory. We have Triumph.
Triumph.
Yeah.
I know. I'm trying to think.
Ducati. I'm pretty sure we have.
Do you remember somebody came on a Grom at one point?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was so cute.
I want a Grom. See, I want everything.
Do you?
Yeah. I want to. I want to Grom, and I want to learn how to wheelie it.
Oh my goodness.
I'll tell you a bike that I want so bad. I'll probably never get this bike in my entire life. It's a ridiculous bike. It makes no sense to buy it.
Mm-hmm.
It's the Honda Rune. Have you ever seen the Rune? It's this ridiculous, just overpiped, just monstrosity of a motorcycle. Yeah, look it up. So, in the future, once we actually are doing this, you'll be able to put images of like what we're talking about.
So I will do a search. Okay,
Yes.
so if I were producer Sharon, I would be doing a search right now, and then I would bring one up.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Yeah.
I'd have to actually be listening.
It looks
to what
like a
you're saying.
V-Rod,
It does.
but it has
V-Rod.
like the
But it's huge.
the engine. It looks like a
It's
BMW.
no, it does not.
Oh my
Okay.
gosh, they're about to have a fight.
It
Let's
does
do
not
it.
look like a BMW. That is a sick looking bike.
Oh, it's
Babe.
really
It looks like the Panigale,
really long.
like with the
Those big ass.
whatever
swoops.
those things are.
This got 3 different exhausts that go out into
Oh,
the
yeah.
one. Oh,
Oh yeah, that thing is gorgeous. That's a gorgeous bike,
Mm.
but it wasn't very popular. It wasn't very popular as a production bike.
Mm.
But you and I saw when we went to Leeds. Remember we went to Alabama. Went to what's the name of that museum?
Oh, the
People
is
are
it
gonna
Wheels
kill
Through
me.
Times? No, that's different. That's in North
People are
Carolina.
gonna kill
Barber.
me. Barber.
yeah.
So we went to Barber. There's a huge museum there. This is ridiculous
We need to do that.
motorcycle.
We do.
museum.
As a team,
We do. That would be
We
a very
should
fun
all
ride.
do
we
that
should
shit.
all just
That
like
would
as
be
a
so
crew,
much
just get a
fun.
crew to go ride down. It's only 2 hours away.
It's not bad. You remember whenever you first started riding, 2 hours was a big deal.
Yes,
It's
You were like,
exhausting.
oh my god, this is like so long.
Well, so the
Well, I
longest.
had a Sportster.
Oh yeah. Imagine your
2.5 gallon.
your ass bones were hurting. I'm sure.
Well, the longest riding I ever did in one day was when we were coming back from Destin, and we did the ride home from Destin to Atlanta in one day. And I was like, look at me, like I actually did it. So I have had long trips, but you break them up for lots of reasons. But we were all just ready to get home, and it was summer and really hot.
It was so hot. We were dying.
We were, but yeah, I was proud of myself too. See, you guys pushed me to be advancing my skills. I want to, but if you're going to ask me, like, do you want to ride home all in one day? I'd be like, what? No. But because we did,
Yeah.
I was happy I did it. So
Was
yeah.
it cold that morning that we?
It was. We were leaving Florida.
No, when we
Oh,
went.
That's right.
Was it cold or was it warm? I can't remember. It was like 45.
Yeah, it was cold initially.
But
And
it
we
was
also
July.
got rained on a lot
That's
too. That was
weird.
a whole other thing. I was like,
Yeah.
it was a very fun adventure.
That's my fault.
No.
It is.
Do you
It was
remember?
the
Yes, it
rain's
is.
fault.
No, it
No,
isn't.
but do you
It's
remember-
hers.
Do you remember? I was
Just-
leading the group, and I could have totally stopped because we saw the freaking ring.
I was like, well, the thing is, we've been riding where it's beautiful and sunny and we're getting poured on, and there's one cloud that doesn't even feel like it should be above us or anything, and it's like pouring. I remember
It's right
once-
on us.
Yeah.
It's like Truman Show, just hanging out above you.
Exactly. I'm like, what? The sun is what? It doesn't feel right. But I had never been rained on like that before. So see,
We got soaked. To
we
the
did. But I
bones.
love that I have these adventures that I've been through.
It's funny
And now we're
because
laughing.
We were happy. I was fine with it. I mean, it was what it was. And then we
comedy
ate.
is tragedy plus time, obviously, right?
Oh, that
so-
should be a country song.
That's actually a pretty well. I think that's a well-known quote that comedy
Oh.
is considered tragedy plus time.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
So,
good.
so
That
yeah.
is good.
So basically, you have these adventures where you are miserable,
Well, in the moment,
and
you're
then
like,
later
we should stop.
you like,
Reminisce.
here we were miserable. Wasn't that funny? It wasn't
wasn't it
at the
fun?
moment. I'm always like, no, I hated that. Well, why are y'all talking about it like you want to do it again?
I love every moment of every miserable ride because I feel like every ride, every time I'm on a motorcycle. Now every drive is different, right?
Yes.
It's like, yeah, we've done this for 20 something years, but like on the motorcycle, every single ride, I have an adventure. It's like,
yeah.
I made it home.
Yeah.
I'm good. I went through some shit, through traffic. Like,
Yeah, because
Whatever the
really
case
it
is.
doesn't, it's not like you can guarantee the road is going to be the same every time you get on it.
no.
And people get in front of you and you have to stop short. And
Yes.
yeah, it's always, you're right. It's always an adventure, a different one.
It is.
Even if you take the same route.
Exactly.
I'm not going to lie. And I'm sure I'll get whatever. But I am such a bitch when
With
it comes to like cold weather and rain. Like hate it. I hate it so much.
You know, you just said that on live.
I don't care.
I'm just telling you.
Oh,
I know. I hate it. I hate it.
you don't like to be uncomfortable that way, right? Because it is uncomfortable. It changes the dynamic of the ride and the,
I'll do
your
it.
feelings.
I'll do it. See, it's funny because it's like, oh, be a man and man up and push through. Oh, I can do that. That's not a problem. I'll be miserable, but I'm not happy, nor do I think it's appropriate to be happy.
Right.
When you're literally, it's like freezing. My body's doing this.
That's right. That's true though. When it's so cold that you're like shaking and shivering and
Or you can't,
It's
your
like,
hands
this
are cold
isn't
and it's
fun.
hard
This
to
sucks.
pull the clutch in and
Yeah.
things.
This sucks. Yeah.
I would
they
agree.
have heated grips and heated gear.
I have heated
guys.
gear for that reason.
I used to say if I ever bought an electric shirt, I've gone too far.
And now you have an
I got like
electric-
3.
You're not a baby.
I gotta plug a shirt in. I'm getting dressed. Oh, let me plug this in. So
You have a pair of pants
I have
too.
a pair of pants. It
Listen,
sucks.
sometimes our leader rides, they're year round, right? So sometimes it's November and the week before it's 70 and then the next week it's 40 and we're supposed to meet at some place.
Welcome
And-
to Atlanta.
Exactly. So it's nice to have choice. I have heated gloves that are brand new to me and I used them for the first time this fall and I loved them. So
Yeah. It makes a difference, right?
Oh, it was so nice. I didn't even feel like the rest of me was as cold because my hands were just not, and I would move my hands a little bit and I'd feel toasty. It was nice. It made a big difference.
It's kind of like we were talking about the Harley thing and the weather in Atlanta. That morning,
Okay.
we were like, well, they came in and they were like, oh, it looks like the weather's going to be this. And
It was April.
and we said to them, we were like,
It'll change.
you know,
This is like 3 months in advance.
who knows?
Or 2 months.
I think I even said, who knows? In Atlanta, you can experience like all 4 seasons in a day, right?
Yeah.
And so they get there. That morning, it's sleeting in April. Like there's literally ice falling out of the sky in April, and
And you need to shoot this.
we have to shoot this thing. So we're like,
It was like, I think it was like,
we're going to Wolf Pen. We're going to the mountains.
Oh my gosh.
maybe in the low 30s.
Oh
as
my
far
gosh.
as like,
Did you plug in
we
your
got up.
shirt?
Didn't have time.
Oh
No, we had gloves.
You
We
had
had
gloves?
gloves,
We had
but that was
gloves.
it.
And it was sleeting, and we had to be there at 7 a.m. So in Dawsonville, so it's like an hour from here. Or no,
Yes.
Dahlonega.
Oh yeah.
So it's like an hour
North
from here.
though, where it's more cold.
More
Where it's
cold.
colder.
Yeah.
for
It didn't
sure.
start sleeting yet. So we were riding in, and the sun was coming out, so we could see the sun. And then we did a couple of rounds around the lake there in Dahlonega. And then we rode up to Suches. And then that's when the sleet started to happen.
But that's a dangerous place for.
yeah.
We're on
the
Wolf Pen Gap.
switchbacks
And then when we were on Wolf Pen Gap, that's when it really started to come down. So we actually turned it around, like said,
oh, did you?
we're not going to do too much because,
it's
you don't want to
dangerous.
be dangerous.
Yes.
That was such a fun
Oh,
shoot.
it
though.
was.
And
How
by the time we
special.
got home, bikini
It
time.
was, it was summer.
It was like
No
85.
way.
You said bikini.
It's like,
Break out your Harley bikini.
it's like
Is that a
85
whole other
degrees.
video? Oh, wow.
And we're like overdressed now.
That's
sweating.
wild.
It
But
is
see,
wild.
that's Georgia, right? It is kind of crazy that way. That's why it's nice to have options.
And these guys are mad at us like we did it. And it's like,
Were they cold and then hot and then all that?
well, y'all came here. We told
They were.
y'all. I'm just teasing.
How nice that they came down though and featured you. That's really
listen,
special.
those guys were great. Like Joe, all of them, they were amazing.
It was really
wonderful.
cool to be filmed in our backyard.
Yes.
Right? On our bikes, on our own bikes.
Yes. Which I think was pretty unique because most of the features have been somewhere else
Oh.
and they're riding stock bikes because Harley was like, let's put you on stock bikes. But we had just built these road glides. We had just built them out.
And
it's
they were like, newer, so they were of the year.
Wow.
so it's like,
video
let us ride our
It was
bikes.
the best of the best scenario.
Come to
Yeah.
Atlanta. Let us ride our bikes. We'll show you like this is who we are. So it was a good time. They were such great guys. One of the fun things they did is we went to our garage where we have our motorcycles at, and we spent like 3 hours setting up a photo shoot in there. Like, because I have all this stuff,
Yeah.
they were like, "You're like the rental." Like, because they're like, you know what we need? We need like a blackout screen. And I'm like, got it. And they're like, oh, yeah, we need a frame for this. Like,
Yeah, be
got
right
that
back.
too. Oh, you know, if we had another key light, got it.
It's like, are you gonna pay us for this? Like, we're charging you.
We're
for
very expensive. This is very expensive rental for an hour.
But Harley-Davidson treated us so well during that. And
Aw.
all the people that were involved were amazing. The folks at Harley now are so cool. They let us participate in the new app thing, which they're launching now. So if you haven't got the Harley-Davidson app, you should get it.
Actually, I'm about to send you
Oh, are they updating
links.
it?
Oh,
'Cause
yeah.
I have-
It's updated. It's like
Oh.
a community now. It's
Oh, no
very
way.
social.
So,
Oh,
so it's
very
almost like a little
cool.
bit of a social media Instagram vibe, or specifically around your bikes
Oh,
and what you
interesting.
do. So you get to upload your bikes
Yeah.
and your builds and share
Oh.
specific stuff on there.
But I think
There-
we have to invite people.
We do have to invite people. So
You're going to invite me, really?
we'll send you an invite.
Aw,
We'll
you
send,
guys.
yeah, we'll
Well, the Leaders app has a similar vibe to it, right?
Yeah,
Where
it
it's got a
does.
community kind of feel and
Yeah.
everyone can post pictures and different rides.
It's similar to that.
I
yeah.
love that though, because you already know people are interested in what you're interested in. And oftentimes I don't
So
know
true.
all of the different events that are happening, and it'll all be listed what's coming up. I don't always Google that stuff. So it's like a
Mhm.
one spot. And I know Harley, I'm sure, has the same, because actually on their app right now, they list different events according to where
Yeah.
my location is. So-
Exactly.
and they're working on that process. I think all of us know that the older app had a few little issues, but sometimes routes wouldn't pop up. Sometimes it
Oh.
wouldn't really know where you were.
yes, I do
but-
remember that.
But the new one seems to be a little bit quicker, a little bit snappier. I haven't noticed where it's missing rides. So
They asked you to participate in being like a test people for
I don't
it,
know if
or
we're supposed to say it.
It's yeah, it was a pilot
Yeah, it was
oh,
a pilot.
oh, okay,
for it.
you guys.
What you mean you're supposed to
Are
say?
you
I don't
allowed to
know.
say?
I don't know how that
Yeah,
works.
we can
We
say.
didn't sign an NDA or anything, I don't think. But
No, we can say because now it's open. We can invite people now. So I don't understand. We're part of the test group.
You were part of the test
we're
group.
so
Are you so special? Well, I'm special too now.
He's making it feel very awkward
I'm
right
trying to be
now because
cringe
he does
about it.
not have
Are you
to. He does not have to be like this. I'm like, why?
I was like, looks good over there, Chuck. Fixing your shirt.
Why are we doing this?
because I'm drunk now.
Great.
I've had a little bit to drink, and I think I'm delirious. But
Well, it's Friday.
I think we just did an hour.
That was so
Um,
much fun, you guys. Thank
always,
you.
always such a
Sharon.
good time.
Great friend. So
Thank
excited to
you.
work with you on this podcast. Thank you so much for chipping in and being willing
Of
to do
course.
this.
I'm so happy to be part of it. I love what you all stand for as well. And anyone who watches anything that you both do, there's something just so special about your relationship. And it is like hashtag couple goals for me someday. So I hope that people feel that as well as they're watching this podcast and as we go further, to just kind of admire. There's something really special about the way you all support each other, and you're very respectful of each other. And this riding adventure, it's so great that you have this in common and get to, make these memories that are forever for both of you.
Well, thank you. I feel
Yeah, it's really
I-
special.
I
Like
feel
I'm
very
really
lucky.
about to tear up here.
I feel very
So
lucky in
sweet.
life that I have a partner who's my best friend. So yeah, thank you so much. That
You're
means a lot.
welcome. You're welcome. It's wonderful to be part of as well. So
Well,
thank you.
we're very lucky to have you in our lives as well.
We're all lucky.
Yes.
We're all
just
lucky all
also
around.
lucky.
We just have like 4-leaf clovers all
Luck-
around.
All right. Well, I think we're going to end the
So
podcast on that. Miss Producer, would you like to go hit end show?
Young Sharon.
Young Sharon. Thank you guys.
Thanks for having me.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit us up on social media.
Please.
InstaChuckgram on Instagram and
ZEE883.
Sharon Cline
Yes.
at Sharon Cline. New producer, Chuck and Z Show.
Have a great night.
Bye, everybody.
Peace.
Great show. Great show, everybody.
Ciao.